जाएगी। ये पोस्ट प्लांट पोजीशंस के अंदर दिक्कत हुई है और इवन दो एडवांटेज था, राउंड नहीं आ पाया वेलोसिटी के लिए।
वो बैकस्टैब एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रहे थे आप और उसकी वजह से एक फ्रैग बिल्कुल वॉल की तरफ मिला। एंड शीरो वंस अगेन डूइंग अ फैबुलस जॉब। भाई तारीफ करनी पड़ेगी, मतलब जिस तरीके से मैप कंट्रोल ये प्लेयर रख रहा है, वो ट्रिपल फ्रैग जो आपने सिक्योर करा, वेरी 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 इंपॉर्टेंट देयर। बट चलिए तीसरा राउंड मिला जरूर है। एक चीज तो है कि अनकंफर्टेबल करा रही है वेलोसिटी बार बार बूम स्पोर्ट्स को, और वही आपका विनिंग फैक्टर बन सकता है। सीकर्स अवेलेबल, टमारा की ओवरड्राइव किसी भी समय आ सकती है, 2 और फ्रैग। और इस पर टॉक्सिक स्क्रीन इंटरेस्टिंग क्योंकि 4 प्लेयर गए हैं टुवर्ड्स बी।
दिस इज गोइंग टू बी समथिंग जो कि एक्सपेक्टेड था नहीं। ए साइड को आप रीटेक के ऊपर खेल रहे हो और हेवी प्रेजेंस है वेलोसिटी का ए पे। अल्टीमेट माफ करिएगा, गेट क्रैश का इस्तेमाल करके वापस से ए हेवन पहुंच चुके हैं। यहाँ पर शीरो और दो प्लेयर्स ने वॉल ट्रिप करी है। नॉट एग्जैक्टली श्योर क्या ये एंटिसिपेट करा जाएगा। ए साइड पे एग्जीक्यूट तो कर दिया वेलोसिटी ने, लेकिन बहुत तेजी से ये बैकस्टैब आ रहा है और डैमेज टमारा पे बहुत ज्यादा।
एंड टमारा हैज बीन डेल्ट विद। व्हाइट कैट पता है कहां पर गए प्लेयर और ऑफ गार्ड टाइमिंग पकड़ ली। ही मैनेज टू गेट वन, लेकिन वो बिल्कुल भी अवेयर नहीं होंगे इस शॉट के, इस पुश से। स्लैशर अपनी यूटिल फेंकना चाहते थे, पकड़े गए। शीरो हैज बीन कॉट ऑफ गार्ड। बजोक एक स्टेमिना फ्रैग बटोरा है। रॉसी हैज बीन डेल्ट विद। रस और रॉ फेंक की जरूरत, थोड़ा सा टाइम बाय करने की कोशिश और बहुत लंबा रन लगाना चाहता है ये प्लेयर। काउंटर मॉली फेंकी जरूर गई, 3 और सेकंड ये मॉलिटॉव रहेगी। फाइनली समाप्त। रस play the sweetest game of his life, half stuck, he has no time left. Diffuse चौथा राउंड फॉर बूम। डिफेंस के ऊपर इस टीम के जो रीटेक्स चल रहे हैं अनडिनाइबल और बहुत अनोइंग। परफेक्ट लेकिन
आउट। वॉल बहुत शुरू में ट्रिप हुई थी फीनिक्स।
That stage every single day. He's just getting better and better, more confident in what he does in this roster. Things are clicking here for Boom. The signs that they start winning on when Shiro performs exceptionally, when they're able to play these post plants well, when they're finding these clutch utility plays to give them the advantage. It has worked out in their favor more often than not in this game so far.
Yeah, agreed. So they can keep making that work. It's gonna be incredibly, it might be an incredibly quick first half here. Shiro has, I mean, it's still pretty early, but yeah.
I'm just thinking though, Velocity has done good work on one department so far here. They're getting into these post plants. They're really pressuring Boom. It's just Boom just out clutching them in kind of these 2v4 moments or whatnot. So we'll see if that trend will continue. A half buy here for Velocity right now. And Shiro still with this outlaw. Trailblazer takes the first bullet. There's still one in the chamber. The flash, the guiding light. Here comes Velocity just going gung-ho. But Damar's already taken on down. NC Slasher keeping the tempo in check. The Nightfall 2 to stave off Velocity.
Oh my goodness, that was close. Velocity could have made that so much worse for Boom. Still, they manage to pull back. Shiro miraculously is still alive. And now Velocity kind of stuck to just keep pushing into this B site.
I mean, coming to a round like this, Velocity would love to burn ultimates on the other side. Shiro, though, finding Madeline. Watch out for Velocity. They still have SK Rossi with a gun and the Steel Garden. If they find the pick onto P, that could be the go signal. But Russ alone, isolated by the smoke. In that sense, now it's up to SK Rossi. And he's trying to find any isolated angle. But boom. They're not giving an inch. They're not letting up the hold. Here it comes. Shiro again, straight into his crosshairs. And it's 5 here for Boom.
That was so close. I thought that Lightning Fast with his satchel could have gotten the entry. Thankfully enough, NC Slasher is just quick on the draw as he gets that counter kill. And that's just going to be enough to stop them dead in the water. You saw that there was really very little. I think that the rest of Velocity could have done at that point to readdress, attack the site once again. Now back to the drawing board they go.
Just the pillars right now, the foundation of Boom between Shiro and NC Slasher. They have been shaken, but they're standing so strong right now, especially when they play the duo. Shiro, though, has to back away. A great pick from SK Rossi and Velocity. They want to go for this A side. Damara staved off by that poison, though. The snake bite preventing the Neon from going on in. But Lightning Fast is the extra. And see White Cat, where did he even come from? Well, with that, it's a showstopper. Now into the third. White Cat trying to find another one here. Velocity still around the site. They find a moment to stabilize at the very least. But corners to hold Berserks within heaven.
Go.
Damara, he finally gets to sync up with the rest of the team. They're trying to bait out the peak of the spike tap. Commit comes in. Berserks get the intel, but Damara, a much needed shot to make it a 2v1.
This is going to be the long wraparound from Shiro. This could work, though. Both eyes from Velocity set to look near the back of the site at spawn. So there's a chance, an opening here for Shiro. But of course, Velocity is starting to get wise.
Yeah, a matter of duelists here. And Shiro, he's quite low, not as low as Damara. Lightning Fast, just holding into the corner. Sees the Neon, there's the contact, but Lightning Fast quickly swinging. And Velocity get on the board here.
There you have it. That was intensely close. White Cat somehow just blitzing through on a short. Again, Lightning Fast holding steady, getting the kill there.
Enemy remaining.
And this separation between Shiro and teammate, where he tried to go for the wraparound, leaving the Viper to his own devices, definitely questionable at most, at the best.
A desync there from Boom, and I'd say some small mid-rounds from Velocity. They usually rely on Damar, right, to play the entry, but now since you have Lightning Fast on the raise, they can get that second duelist to do that entry point from short, and that just gave them the chance to play onto the site. One on the board for Velocity, as we've said. They're gonna look to rally from that point. I'm a little interested. Nats has the Bucky on hand here. Perhaps trying to play the counter for either Lightning Fast or Damara in the backside. He's holding on to utility instead. Here we have the Molly now into play. Damara gonna go for it. Lightning Fast already in position, but White Cat and Berserks, they're the first stations that stop Velocity in their tracks. Here comes Shiro now. Gate crash on out. Doesn't want to stay with the operator into TP. And Boom has done the damage already.
Yeah, great denial of map control here against Velocity. They try to push through that teeny tiny exit path outside of Showers, and you're met with Decay, with Molly, and with White Cat's complete magazine round. There's really not much options unless they were able to deal with White Cat early on, but again, definitely not. So back to B. They try, but Shiro's here with the operator.
Straight on through, sees the target, SK Rossi. On a slow peak, just found out here by Boom. And at this point, time has run out for Velocity. They're gonna seed the round, look to save some guns. Madeline might be in a little bit of danger here, but nah, Boom do rotate away from him to confirm the 6. And Azurai, that's one matchup coming into this one that looks so exciting, right? Two young guns looking to make their names known. White Cat versus Damara here, and they have just been explosive so far, but unfortunately for Damara, he's the one shut down by the Boom defense.
Well, it is going to be quite tricky, though, too, right? Because, again, as long as Berserks is able to survive up until Damara and Lightning Fast keep pushing into the site, they have to figure out a way to just bypass him in that fashion. And I don't know how they're going to try to do that.
Well, the flash could help here for Velocity into the overdrive, but White Cat stable on the ATV. See you later, buddy. Damara gonna go down early on. Steal a garden here for Velocity to try and keep the tempo going. Pressure is on. Orbital Strike onto the backside as well, but Boom, they have the shower control. White Cat making Madeline work for it, and Berserks at that range with the shorty fadeaway. Lightning Fast goes down, and things going bad to worse here for Velocity. They have been stopped at the first station. Red lights straight in their face of the SK Rossi and Russ looking to salvage the round. They pick up the spike at the very least. Chance perhaps to go for the rotation. But with these positions from Boom, any sound cue, you know they'll look to find the push here and straight into the crosshairs. Berserk's just waiting patiently. Right now, time is on the side of Boom Esports. And here we go again. A third for Berserks as we see Boom get to 7.
Like I mentioned, there was a chance from Velocity here to go to that TP, but Shiro's gate crash was already positioned somewhere on the elbow there, so definitely not the easiest for them to try to pick up, but at least potentially a 1 versus 2. Still, I like the idea here from Velocity that they tried to match up the slow approach into A, maybe get a couple of picks here and there, which was what kind of happened with Russ getting 2 kills, but him losing his teammate that earlier on, SK Rossi definitely not helped out his overall plan there.
Yeah, Boom has just been ready for whatever Velocity throws at them. And Berserks now trying to get the shot to go again. Whitecat this time, checked by Damara. He's learned his lesson, and he makes Boom pay that price. Well done by Velocity with the Sheriffs. They get onto the side, get some guns along the way, and here we go. They're gonna go for half the plan.
Yeah, this is what works out. Them capitalizing on the delay of Boom. Pushing harder and harder into things. Still though. Ooh.
He's just slithering in! And come on, points to slither at this point. It's magical for Berserks when he gets into position. And the Viper's not done! The Viper's not done! A third kill for Berserks. Madeline looking to save the day, but Berserks is unbeatable! The 4K there as Boom get to 8.
Incredible from Boom as always. Like you mentioned, Berserks, bam, just feeding off of that one flash. And SK Rossi blinding him through the arc rows, him reacting and still getting the kill is just so overwhelming. Like, how do you beat someone like that? Berserks, you know, he's just stretching, just making sure that all of his joints are well warmed up. But wow, 8-1 is definitely a problem here for Velocity.
Look, the Boom legacy wouldn't be a thing without Berserks. He has just been one of their core players in such a long time, even before they got into Pacific, right? So it just goes to show the old reliable Shiro gets the leg hit onto lightning fast. Does get the back away after that initial intel here for Velocity.
So at least they do have Madeline for that quick little heal. If there is any kind of like an early pick that Velocity could get, a follow-up with the Seekers is going to be huge right now for Velocity. But again, Boom is just forcing them back slower, more and more.
Oh, Damara. Chance here. As he Slasher sees comes on in. The stun's there, and Damara punishing the overextension of Boom in that instance. Now's a chance for Velocity to go for this B site. Shiro can't hit the mark as Lightning Fast is in position. And there you go. He's a force of nature and straight onto the site.
That's what they needed. Damara not fearing the seas. What is it only but like tether? So you keep pushing through, get the kill, and everyone feeds off of it.
He's like, I get the sun, I get the win, but here we go with Nats already in position. Boom Esports with the retake. Oh, Nats immediately with the double of his own. Showstopper primed and ready. Almost strike as well to fend off players from Hoka. Here comes Damara though in position. Damara with the shutdown. Damara finally felled by Whitecat. But Velocity have so many angles of opportunity. Here we go with Madeline, but Whitecat still gets away with one more till Russ keeps the round in favor of Velocity. The captain keeps it cool. It's a second here for the attackers.
That was close. Shiro took his sweet time holding the middle of the site for as long as he possibly could, hoping that maybe he can hit a shot or two, or having that confidence that he could hit that shot or two. Didn't, and was just overwhelmed by Lightning Fast, and that is what Velocity want. Boom making these slight overcommitments that turn into mistakes, that turn into round wins for Velocity. Oh, SK Rossi.
I mean, that's the opportunity for Velocity, right? They struggle to make the executes happen because of Boom's anchors. When they get these picks, then you tend to hurt. It's a lot easier, obviously. Velocity have done a good job to win those 1v1s across the board. Here comes the orbital strike though, and straight on through. Lightning fast catching out Shiro. Velocity keeping the momentum in their favor. Berserk Strike not gonna get stunned on up. No one's checking until Damara keeps the train going. It's a great pace here from Velocity. The two duelists doing all they can to do some immense damage. And there you have it. The rally now from Velocity to confirm another round.
Yeah, now this is Velocity's ballpark, right? Setting the pace. Incredibly quick. Fast to get into the site. And boom, none the wiser. Don't even know what hit him.
Yeah. It's just lovely to see the evolution of Velocity. I mean, we've seen it happen in the group stage here in this game. They've been checking these off angles a lot more coming into the executes. They've been punishing players like Berserks, like White Cat, especially after some of those elevated angle antics. And bit by bit, it's Velocity right now making a case for themselves as well. We've been talking about discomfort from the panel, and yet this is the Boom map pick. From what was a commanding lead from Boom, Velocity are taking parts of it away now.
So if Velocity can keep that tempo, can keep that working, and we'll probably have a game in our hands. That's the one that they wanted. That's the speed at which they needed to attack. Damara as well, just following up on his co-duelist here with Lightning Fast. And you see that they're reaping the benefits. 10 kills for Damara, 7 for Lightning Fast. And they've pushed Boom's economy a little bit to the weaker side.
I mean, they are expecting the early pressure though from Boom. And as soon as the overdrive is heard across the map, it's the Viper Spit on the other side. Boom willing to invest utility just to stall and wait out the electric timer there. So they used up the molly from Nats. Shiro, he's also making some noise, trying to fake out some of the rotations here, but Velocity, they're not biting, just waiting for the smoke to dissipate.
Yeah. And again, this is where it gets tricky, right? Because once that smoke dissipates, no more molly, no nothing. You gotta commit to the fight.
Well, it's all Nats, and Nats straight on through! He punches 4! And they just didn't even see that one coming! Velocity knocked out of the round effectively. SK Rossi, the only one standing. But that was just utterly fearless from Boom. Apex Predators, the Wolfpack is on the hunt. And here we go, they howl as Nats gets the Predator ace! Boom Esports confirmed the half, 9-3 in their favor.
Truly the Predator, the killer of killers here, as he just completely drains the life out of this potential A take. It's happened twice, thrice now. The Velocity kept that push going, and Nats got wind of it. He understood the pacing, the timing, and he took it into his own hands. With that being said, we end 9-3, and we'll have our halftime break. And we have returned 9-3. Boom Esports have that lead, but Velocity, they've done some pretty creative things to keep themselves afloat in that first half.
Yeah, and some highlights too, right? And that's with that ace using the judge. Just boom, boom and bind. It's one story to watch out for. But now they're on the attacking side. Velocity, maybe believing in curses here. Superstition to help them on the defense. But in this case, it's a long flank from many here from the side of Velocity.
Yeah, there will be at least someone to check this, but if they're not careful, they could just get brute force by Velocity here.
Yeah, Damara's first to fall. Rusto makes the trade happen. As Velocity to play the unexpected angles here. NC Slasher and Whitecat now ready, and now they're just raring to go. Boom! To double digits this fast. That was a quick pistol from them again.
Well, you know what? It's just boom things. Look at just... again, I thought Velocity... This was a great flank for Velocity. They have the numbers. They got everything. And then Boom just reminds them that they are filled with players just raring to go for these gunfights.
Yeah, they're shooters, man. And you can see for Boom, they are in command of this game so far. Anti-eco right now. So, looking to see what Shiro and Whitecat are up to with the entry. Velocity do have a good tell on the stack, though. They're ready at least to challenge Boom Esports right now. Prowler comes on in. Shiro plays up close. Now overrun here by Damara. Nats in that chaos gets a kill. Russ making the sheriff count too. And keep an eye out of Russ and Madeline. The two voices really of Velocity. The voices of reason now bringing the clutch when they need it the most. Stellar shots with the pistols. They make it a 4v2, and while Berserks is in this A site right now, the problem is Whitecat. He's the one with the spike here. Contact coming up to a close into Lamps. SK Rossi! That footwork was just so damn good. And well, at this point, yeah, Whitecat, what's the plan? Do you throw away the rifle? Do you look to play the hero here? But a 1v4 crafted here by Velocity so far, it's already huge.
Yeah, there's no, I think, like, bad decision to try to just go for the clutch here, because either way, right, it's gonna be a bad economic round coming to the next for Boom here. So might as well just have Whitecat plant the spike, play the post, get as many kills as you can, and just maybe hope. But yeah, it's gonna be quite difficult.
Yeah, spike now to be planted within the container. Whitecat just wants to play it close and safe. He has a single blast back to work with the Trailblazer now coming on through. Intel provided. Whitecat expecting the push now from the CT side. Angel's there too. When's the swing gonna come on in? SK Rossi with the flag, and Russ again with that sheriff. Remember yesterday, Velocity struggling against the ecos. Now this time, they're the ones looking to put the hurt in these kind of rounds. A thrifty from Velocity.
Yeah, just... again, meeting Boom where they push is a great strategy just to deny them. The flashes from Madeline have been pretty exceptional, honestly, in this bind map of ours. And, well, he's not going to slow down now from the looks of it. SK Rossi holding that site. That was pretty important, too. Oh, now we're seeing the view party for Velocity there. I was about to say, SK Rossi had to hold that. If Berserks caught him, there was a chance where Whitecat could have just rotated to A, maybe gone to the teleporter, and they still had a nice little pillar to play around with that post plant.
Yeah, some big moments there from Velocity, and now they get that momentum in their favor. Boom, though, coming in from Hookah. Lightning fast. That was a speedy shot onto Nats, but Whitecat just brings the shorty to his face. So regardless of the guns, Boom, straight on through towards that B site. They're actually rethinking the plans. Now they reposition. They have NC Slasher onto the default, and here we have it. It's post plant. They take the elbow. The flood comes on through, so Boom is trying to chip away against Velocity. Damara taking the fight to them, but against three, that's just too many. Russ now goes for the molly. Big intel provided there by Damara. SK Rossi and Russ just stabilizing this defense here, but Berserks! The Zowie clutch as he goes mad with those shots. Boom Esports! We've talked about how reliable Berserks has been throughout the years, but this is just another moment made by him.
Again and again and again, he's proven himself in bind. He's so used to it already. Look at that, just a smooth transition of kills with the Guardian, no less. This is gonna be hella problematic for Velocity. They still have the they still have the money, sure, but rounds is just trickling Boom's way.
Yeah. You wonder why Berserks is still in this team for such a long time. That's why. That's how good he is in those critical situations for Boom. And with Velocity now feeling the hurt there, it still was some good damage by Velocity regardless. They have the buys coming into this round, but the scoreline is getting wider and wider. You can feel the pressure on the defense now. Rossi, alongside Russ, trying to set up the trap here. Judge on hand. Russ trying to replicate what Nats did against him in the last half. And SK Rossi in position, but it's straight for trade. Boom still having a spike in their hands, making it 3v3. It's really that push from Lightning Fast that could find some value here.
Yeah, he still has complete arsenal for himself, so he can just slide into the site.
Oh. Anti-slasher clearing the corner. Things looking good here for Boom. And Velocity have to play separated on this front. The rear, it's being watched for. The flanks, there's someone keeping an eye out. But with Lightning Fast doing some great chip damage, that should be confidence for Velocity to try and go for the fight. It forces Shiro to back into Labs. Madeline gonna be dropping on down here. But by the bench, NC Slasher into the corner. Here comes Madeline. Perfect step to get that kill. 2v2. Berserks again! And Shiro still, if he's alive, he's gonna be a threat. Map point here for Boom.
Man, Lightning Fast looked like he just slipped on the box there and fell. Still, look at just how quickly they're able to transition kill after kill. I like the potential flags from Velocity here, but it's all according to plan for Boom. They're just aware of the timings and everything. And now Velocity call their final time out of this first game. One of the few times that, again, Velocity are pushed to the limit here in Ascension.
Yeah.
It's all courtesy of Boom.
Yeah, it's against the teams that came from Pacific, right? But that discomfort, it's one thing we were talking about before we got even into the game. The fact that Boom got to ban out Lotus and then pick this bind map, they were so willing to just play this map that they haven't played in Ascension at all for good reason. The legacy players are so confident on it. They're just so well acclimated with playing one another. And while there's some good ideas from Velocity, we saw some entries a while ago in the first half. It's just lacking compared to their usual antics with their usual compositions. And this is where, yeah, you can see how the scoreline reflects that issue.
Such a problematic position to be in from Velocity here. And again, they haven't really breached through the kills that were kind of used for them, right? SK Rossi at 9, Lightning Fast with 8. It's not the same Velocity. And kind of going back to what I was talking about a couple of yesterday, is Velocity just lesser with SK Rossi not being on his chamber? Oh, Nats is out of there.
Yeah, we'll see. Comfort's a big factor for the Velocity run and straight on through, right? Orbital Strike. But he can't confirm the kill on the brim. Instead, Shiro making some noise over at Shower. Allows the rest of Boom Esports to mobilize around the map. So they get the spike right now. They realize Velocity have rotated on the way. And just because of that initial Yoru presence, VLT in their stack, they're sticking around A. Now the rotation comes on in. The mind games are unreal, and Boom. Are they gonna sell another fake? Let's go for that A site where the sky awaits, because Shiro and Berserks are in position to try and make some noise here.
You gotta try to make that open if possible. Oh! I mean,
yeah.
If Berserks is like that, then it's definitely a possibility.
When you're right, but Madeline also correct in his assumption not gonna get found. So Velocity, they haven't been tricked here at all. Thanks to Madeline. Keeps his A site clear for the time being. The rotation though, and boom! How many times are we gonna do this cycle? Double, triple back. We're going back straight into A. And Madeline Still around in that position, so watch out in the sky. Can he play? Crucial here. Berserk's on the other hand doing some damage. But Madeline hasn't been found. Madeline gets rid of NC Slasher. The spike being planted. Finally, Boom, get it done. Russ clears Berserk's into a 2v1. But in this chaos, Boom looks to thrive. There's no passing Shiro now. It's a win here for Boom on Vine. 13-4 to take map number 1.
Have you ever seen a Viper be used as an entry fragger or a lurk? Like, in that regard, it looks like he was playing a duelist at that point. Berserk's really showing up in this bind map in more ways than one, and it elevated the team to heights that overwhelmed Velocity and then some. Man, that was just so much for Velocity to handle here. Berserk's ability to defend, his ability to entry frag, defend, as I mentioned, is just so much to handle.
Yeah, just whenever Nat screams, it always gets me. And he had an incredible outing here, especially in that first and last round of the first half. But you said it, Berserk's just a complete package at this point. He's done everything he can for the team. 2 incredible clutches, courtesy of such a legacy player on the Boom roster. And that last round was just so tough to follow for Velocity, especially, like, big props to Madeline. He was able to take down one of the spike bearers there. That could have been a timer thing, but yeah, Boom doing damage on both A and B at the same time thanks to Berserk's as well. You don't get any bonus points for that, but the commanding win here from Boom is already a sentiment to watch out for. They've made Velocity uncomfortable here with their first map pick. They took away Lotus in the draft. And right now, it's Velocity who has to rely on their own map pick of Sunset to rally back into the series.
Yeah, but at least with this first game being done and dusted, you know that Boom have put a tremendous amount of effort figuring out what's the big counters here against Velocity, how to play against it. Sure, again, it's the players themselves that were able to execute well into this first game, but understanding the map strengths of Velocity definitely helped them out. And Bind being such a unknown factor between the two for a very long time is also something to take note of here.
Yeah, and well, Boom, they get this lead. They're raring to go, and they want to put themselves in a position to get back into Pacific, right? 13-4, our final score for map number 1. Let's toss it over to the panel now.
Yep, 13-4. That scoreline definitely screams dominance, and Boom, they didn't even break into a sweat here. You saw Shiro, he was so calm. He was not tilted at all. He was just like, okay, boys, yep, that's how we do it. And with performances all around, like with Whitecat and Nats really popping off, and as we've been talking about before this series, right, really getting comfortable with what they have to do when they go up against other teams, and we go up against like a more pressured series. They're showing how they're really honing themselves to part of this squad and this roster. Oh my God, Morgan, Boom Esports definitely showing how much of this, like, tier 1 training and being conditioned by the likes of T1 and Paper Rex and all of those have what that has been doing to the team.
Yeah, I mean, they're just continuing to grow throughout this tournament, really stepping up here on Bind. I mean, just look at Berserk's clear on top of the scoreboard in front of everybody else. A massive, massive game from him in this, like, comfort role here. So I love this from Boom. And, one thing you spoke about is Shiro being so calm in all of this. That seems to be their whole demeanor this entire time. They feel like they're the best. They don't even need to get excited when they win because it's supposed to happen. That's how they're feeling right now. And some of the casters spoke about, I just love the pick of Bind here. I think it's so good. It really is putting Velocity in a place where they're going to feel really uncomfortable, and we saw how that played out. Berserk's going to be the map MVP because how could he not be?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was funny how that like last round kind of summed it up, where you can like leave Berserk's on a side. There's 3 over there, 3v1 it, and Berserk's is like, yeah, okay, no problem. And that was literally how much of a presence he had on this map. And we keep talking about how Boom like did not feel like their energy spiked at all, because yes, we love it when the teams stand up and get riled up. It's a lot of fun, but also that can be very revealing as well. You can overheat it, it can get into your head also. And Boom, they were just locked in, and I feel like that's even more dangerous for a squad like this.
Yeah, I mean, they're laser focused and disciplined. I mean, we've been talking about this team in Pacific all year, Mika, about how even on these games where they've lost over in Pacific, they look like a well-drilled team, and that's because they play very good, very clean Valorant, and that's why they're not phased by this. They do take their map pick of Bind 1-0 up now in this series, one step closer to that Pacific slot.
Yep, they've got a taste of it already this entire year. They want it back. They want to get back on there. They still have one more map to play, so we'll get right to that right after this very quick break. Welcome back, guys. You are watching VCT Ascension Pacific, and we're on to map number 2 between Velocity and Boom Esports. And we just saw complete dominance from Boom Esports on that first map of Bind. This is going to be Velocity's pick now, though. So I'm wondering what they have planned on Sunset, especially since Boom made such a statement on that first map, Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, Sunset is a safe pick for Velocity. We know that they like it. This is a map they've been good on, so it's very much expected. But the problem with it being expected is that it's expected for Boom also. And I mean, this coaching staff, I think they do some of the best prep we saw in Pacific last year, even being an Ascension team. I think the way they game plan around their opponents has always been incredibly effective. So I think the question mark is on Boom. What answers do they have cooked up? Are they prepared for this breach that they know Velocity are going to bring and have had success with? I'm curious if they're going to stick with that same comp that we've seen, where they're running that Neon Yoru double duelist, or maybe is it time for a change? We saw SLT Songnam do that earlier, so I think it could be a nice little wrinkle if they have that ready to go.
Yeah, at this point, it's not news anymore. Should they bring out the breach, right? But even if they do stick with something that's comfortable to them, which is likely for Velocity, I do want to see some kind of change, perhaps in the pacing. We just saw how Boom were able to, really just just turn them around, and it didn't feel like Velocity were really up to a lot of the aim duels. We saw them lose so many rounds with just pure firepower and instinct plays from Boom Esports, and it really just shows again what they had to be, the grind, the Pacific grind that they had to be put through this entire year from the likes of teams like Paper Rex or T1 or Zeta Division. And you just saw just how instinctive they were able to play and take so many fights, and it didn't feel like Velocity was up to that kind of level just yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest problem I saw for Velocity is that the composition they're running just does not have a lot of util. Neon, not super utility heavy, running single initiator Sky, so it's only that really the dog. And even you look at the smokes roll, it's swapped from an Omen that we normally see from them, where you have the Paranoia as a massive tool, to Brimstone, where you're really just running with that Molly. So they're used to playing with lots of util. Domara especially is used to being set up by lots of util, and they couldn't do that in this first match. So I think the comp change, as we move towards Sunset, the stylistic change that we know we're going to see from them will seem to give them a boost. That's what I'm really hoping for. We're coming into this map with no changes compositionally from either of these teams, but as you say, it's VLT on the back foot, looking to bounce back, and Boom have to be the ones able to put a stop to Russ's breach because it's been so effective.
Yeah, comfort isn't a bad thing for Velocity, right? Because for these agents, they know what they have to do. Perhaps they'll be, a little bit more synergized here because it's something that they've ran over and over again. So hopefully this means a better performance from them, but I don't think they should shy away from all of the fights that Boom have. Yes, they can be intimidating, especially since you have Berserks, for example, that's just so online today, but they cannot back down, especially since this is their map that they have to win. We're gonna toss it to Azurai and Dax to take us into Sunset.
Yeah, we just agree with you there. Just Velocity Gaming. It's probably a sweater, it's probably a hoodie. This composition gives them a warm hug. It's comfort. It's necessary coming into this next map because it's one of their reliable ones. Sunset from map number 2. Velocity's map pick. But Boom, man. The firepower has been incredible in this series, and yeah, Whitecat and Shiro looking to do it all over again here.
Yeah, and again, I got to put this into the mix. Berserks has been an incredible lurking force for Boom here. If it can translate that into Sunset, there's a lot of options that they can do even as they start on the defending side.
Yeah, and Morgan Mika mentioned it, 21 kills, especially for Berserks in that last game. Damara, though, this time around, runs straight into the tripwire, and Boom respect the utility of Velocity. Exactly what Morgan was mentioning. Damara, more accustomed to having all of that set up for him on the entry. Boom, on the other hand, here at the flank, Shiro, Whitecat, to lead the charge here. Really, Valve Neon's yet again coming to a head here. Whitecat trying to find the position. Berserk's actually finding out Russ. Berserk still around on the market. Same momentum from map number 1. Finally taken down by Madeline, who gets a double for his own. But Nat's also in position. This pinch from Boom looking strong. And Nat's continuing where Boom has left off. First pistol goes to Boom here.
Okay, I thought for a second they forgot to defuse the spike, but yeah, it's so difficult for them to have held that, thinking that Velocity thinking that their opponents would be coming through their own side of the spawn, not really from the flank. And you can see how far they pushed into Boba, maybe thinking about that one thing. And because of it as well, they're just spread, or they were pushed way too far, not near the spike enough, and they couldn't really deal with what was the backstab of Boom altogether on that pistol.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering the game plan here for Boom right now. Will it be about the raid takes when Velocity will invest Russ's utility to get the Mara in? That's a question for the next few rounds here. Coming into the anti-eco, some fun stats right now. Boom, perfect on the pistols so far. We have seen Velocity take a Thrifty away though. And also apparently thanks to Prod, every single day we've gotten an ace. And well, we saw it in map number 1, will we see it in map number 2? Berserk's here at the backside, Tamara will go down, holding onto the Spectre. Here comes a push from Velocity. Shiro though, making his mark happen. 3 kills off the Arsenal. And that's Boom getting a second round.
That's quite pricey, I would say, for Velocity here. That just means that they're going to be going into that 3rd round with a hodgepodge of maybe a shotgun. SMG we'll have to see. But again, this was just showing to us how strong Boom's capability is at those multi-kills. Shiro went straight into like 3 players of Velocity who had stingers and somehow got out of that one with 3 kills.
Yeah, we saw that in the first map when Velocity went for the force buy. Boom was able to hold them off. Same story so far. But VLT right now gets spotted by the recon dart. Here we go with the Judge Gaming again from Boom. They've loved these auto shotties in these tight-knit corners on the map pool itself. Aftershock comes on through, but White Cat still holding position. Found the angle of opportunity. Nats also shows on up. And just Boom again, bringing Velocity to the blender. Liquefied by the Judge. White Cat confirming it's a flawless for Boom.
Man, playing around that Aftershock though from Russ completely goes unnoticed, I think, by the rest of Velocity here. Chef's kiss from Boom. Look at this. They thought that they cleared up that angle, and then from out of nowhere, in a split second, like you mentioned, they were put through the grinder of the Judge. And man, were they definitely just executed pretty well there by White Cat.
Yeah, White Cat just found that small sliver to work with, and from that point on, Boom, we're just not dislodged at all. VLT, they have the guns this time around. If they want to make a mark in half, it's time. Shiro though scoped in, gets the 2 shots to go onto Lightning Fast. Berserks as well, yet again, within the cyber cages. Nice pick by Damara to find White Cat at the very least. Still offered to VLT, they don't have that backside control. Berserks right now just navigating on, throw, fake out, sent also to the other side. And interesting enough.
Plants.
Yeah, no plans as of yet. VLT, they don't want to be caught lacking. They'll just pivot on away, but Shiro hits the head of the IGL. Damara in position. Here comes the push from Berserks right now. Madeline's SK Rossi doing their best to keep the fight going. But do they know? They don't know. They don't know. Nats gonna crawl on through. SK Rossi, now he figures it out. And Velocity, a much needed round on the board.
Yeah. Too close for comfort there, though. Never know. Might have been able to jump up through the boxes and just gotten that nice little backstab. This is what Velocity needed in this round. Separating the front to the back of the site, not allowing Boom to get those punishes. And you saw, there was a moment there, I think, where Berserk was waiting for maybe some of his traps to trigger, but Velocity was pretty keen on breaking or not tripping up, which is incredibly, I think, important in that situation.
Yeah, and in the end, right, Boom was the one who was a bit more impatient, jumped the gun, and that's why Velocity held off that spike plant for so long. So well read there by VLT. Some calls in the thick of the action, helping out the squad. But yeah, Nats, he's pushing. They're gonna keep an eye out. These one-ways, they do scare off Velocity to play the push there and straight into the stack that Boom have towards B.
Well, there's still a bunch of these tripwires, and Shiro getting closer and closer for the peak.
Shiro still has the alpha on hand. More of the players of Velocity having full armor in this situation, so he still can't get that one-shot threshold. The flash comes on in, but Berserks with the cyber cages stacked on up. VLT, they're burning the Boom utility right now. Hunter's Fury comes on through from Madeline as well. Let's go here in round number 5. SK Rossi finding one. It's Velocity again winning out the trades, but here the backside Boom is stable with Shiro and Berserks. Come on, these names. How many times do you have to say it for Boom Esports? The spike now in the threshold in the sightlines here of Berserks. Madeline will try to look for the rotation into Boba, but who sees who first? Nats now found out. 15 seconds left. Berserks get away from the contact points. Velocity, they're pressed for time. There's the fake. Berserks now into cover. And Madeline, does he have it in him? It's not gonna happen. Berserks again brilliance here. And it's a 4th round for Boom.
That's insane. He allowed himself to not break the recon dart just so that Madeline didn't really know if Berserks went for the wraparound. Look at that. He was like looking straight into B main thinking that, oh, he might have actually positioned himself just more passively. Berserks is just galaxy braining. I haven't used that term in like forever, but I think it's pretty apt in that situation.
Yeah, man. He's in a completely different universe with the way he's playing this game right now, and it has helped out Boom immensely. Velocity, again, he's getting corralled really by Boom right now, and therein lies the problem. VLT just don't feel comfy getting into the site itself. Yes, they get the space, but when do you actually plant? Because Boom has that presence towards backside. They're happy to play the retake, and it's been a strength of Boom so far on this defense.
Well, we'll continue to do so. Now that VLT is just trying to maneuver themselves into mid, using that smoke as a bit of coverage, but they only really have the pistols to try to work with.
Yeah, Damara instantaneous though after the trip bar is broken. He lets rip the overdrive. No one home though, no one home. Can't find any of the Boom targets. They've done a good job to tuck themselves away. Damara now, yeah, just powerless to stop Whitecat in that situation. Aftershock though, VLT trying to make it comfortable, but they're the ones trapped in the web of Boom. Madeline again, fighting back with the Sheriff. Stellar shooting from Madeline. Don't count him out ever. But in this situation, same scenario. Time running out, bodies to the floor, and Boom, go to 5.
That was close though. Madeline getting a bit of heat check, heat retention, rather, as he keeps hitting all the shots with the Sheriff. But man, were his teammates left out to dry at the back of that A site. They tried to push, and I like the idea here from Boom, where the obvious thing was just don't get contact up until Damara loses his ult charge. Once that happens, he's just gonna be on the pistol. Same with the rest.
Yeah, just this is the concern. We brought this up yesterday actually against Nongshim. Now the teams have understood how strong Velocity are on their comfort maps in their incredible composition. You know, Velocity themselves have been saying that they get to play their game to the extra level thanks to them being just masters of what they get to play in the first place. Yeah, there's so much tape now. There's so much homework to be done that you can do coming into a Velocity game. There's so many VODs to watch here in Ascension Pacific itself. And we're seeing more of those antis come on through. We're seeing the readability on those tendencies. And in that case, right, Boom knew where to tuck themselves away after that mid-pivot from Velocity. So those are the concerns right now. Can we see more from Velocity off this timeout? Because you know that a coach like Godspeed has made the system, has helped out this team immensely in their domestic run and more. So right now, VLT, they need an answer and fast.
Well, you gotta come up with something, and that something might be just, again, brute forcing their way here through the A site. There's a bit of pings right now from Boom. I wonder if it's just for maybe a paranoia something.
Oh, man, lightning fast. Read like a book there thanks to the reconnaissance. Boom. Already getting the first pick on the board. It's been one concern too in this map, right? Whitecat has been getting these first kills over and over again. If it's not him, it's players like Shiro, maybe even Berserks in those anchor holds towards B. While Russ and Damara are looking to see if Boom would push out in the angle. It's Whitecat holding close. They're gonna line up for him, and there you have it, falling like dominoes. He's already gotten 4. We talked about aces throughout the tournament. He wants one, doesn't get it thanks to SK Rossi, but there you have it. That's the one who got the ace in the first game. Well, he'll deny his own teammate, who's already been felled anyway. Another win for Boom.
I was just about to point out as well that this could potentially be the 18th ace of the tournament. That statistic brought to you by our production. They said 17th from that last game. He could have had the 18th, man.
He wanted it. He wanted the highlight, and that's just like, sorry, bud. Gotta finish the round now. Yeah, this hurts though for Velocity. Like, you can feel the momentum, the vibes, all in Boom's favor. They're just having fun at this point. That's really the cost of velocity right now. And NC Slasher
Enemy marked.
sending out the Owl drone. They get big intel. That's a heavy-handed approach from mid, and Shiro again stopping the Mara before he can even slide on in. No entry into Boba. It's Boom with a private reservation in dysfunction. Shiro, he also wants to push. SK Rossi, low HP right now, and yeah, Velocity, they're trying to find a way into the B sites. Straight on through, Shiro's there. What just happened to us in lightning fast? We're done with the round, and we get the flawless from Boom.
Man, you could immediately see how quickly Boom just envelops the map as soon as they know that Velocity are slowly backing away. Look at how many angles of attack they had. Just numerous.
They're catching Velocity, who love to play as a back right, who love to play as a 5, and Boom are just maximizing their mobility around the map and then some. Still, Velocity not out of this one. Still rounds to go. Ultimates available. We've seen VLT, of course, have that incredible performance in the group stage. Tried to replicate it in the playoffs. Madeline just searching for anyone to hit to no avail.
Here. Excuse me. Yeah, now they're gonna just try to go through elbow.
Nats, he was trained on it. Boom again, just ready from the get-go. The pre-game at this point, the crosshair placement is just ridiculous. They immediately expect where Velocity is gonna come from. Lightning fast here, trying to beat the high-low setup. 2 is better than 1, and Berserk is better than them all. A double here, Whitecat comes on in, 8-1. Is that another flawless from Boom?
Yeah. I think it was. My goodness, he took forever on that angle and still somehow he lost the duel. What is this?
Enemy down.
Yeah, Lightning Fast saw already where the other Omen was, and again, just couldn't really push through it just because he knew that he was getting tracked. And the pressure keeps rolling. The punches don't stop. And Velocity burnt using their final tactical timeout. Very similar to what we saw with Naos on that first series. This truly is a day of the rollouts or the rolling rounds. And Boom is the one that's benefiting, reaping the rewards.
Yeah, they're just running away with it at this point, and again, just this experience that Boom has here. They dropped the series in the group stage, but at this point in hindsight, it was against SLT, who has been flawless so far in the series here. It's crazy to think that this Boom roster, they want to get back into Pacific. They are hungry to make that accomplishment happen yet again and do it on their own terms this time. This score is representing their efforts in this matchup truly. 8-1 in command of the half, and yeah, as you said, Velocity burning their second time out here just to try and find any semblance of success. The Stingers are out, the Sheriffs are there too, but it's just so tough again for VLT. They've been caught in a loop as it's been 5 rounds in a row for Boom already.
This is going to be even worse now that they don't have any more money to play around with. Oh my goodness, Damara's down to 14.
No, that's the thing. When have you seen Damara healthy coming into an entry, right? It's been always him at a critical HP junction. He's getting sprayed, getting hit. The blindside comes on in. Velocity. There isn't going to be confidence if your Neon is healthy to play the entry there. He's just going to die too early.
Well, come to a halt once more. And this is what you don't want as Velocity being herded by Boom, shepherded to where they want you to take the fight. Boom now setting up for that A site. Look at how like slow VLT is on the approach. It just goes to show that they're very cautious of a potential mid lurk once again. And this is burning a significant amount of time for them to work their way to the other site.
Yeah, they know they gave it up earlier on. And Boom has conditioned the opposition to be wary of that fact. But it's different this time. Just stations here for both the Omen and the Yoru. Shiro in position here with elbow held well. And that's one. He's not afraid to use those hands to get those kills. Paranoia, the response here. Boom still in position. Nearby safe. SK Rossi though. That's a big kill. That's another one from SK Rossi. If Velocity want the fighting chance, this is their moment. Lightning Fast with a double of their own. Berserks here in position. And VLT. They've been waiting for this opportunity. Guns to pick up. It's against Shiro though. 1v3. Oh. Cyber Key's gone. Lightning Fast. And SK Rossi just waiting for the contact to come their way. Tripwire's there. Berserks again though! Yeah, Berserks. He's breaking the hearts of Velocity at this point. The pings come out from the neural theft, but the double up here. It's well played by Velocity. They've needed a round like this throughout this map, and they'll get it through the Thrifty.
My goodness. They had to fight tooth and nail, travel hell and high water just so that they can claim that Thrifty round. How did this even happen? Great separation onto the smoke from Velocity. Boom came in one by one, trying to utilize their Neon's overdrive as they try to march through the site, but Velocity was having none of it. And they finally take a round after such a long drought.
Break some momentum, yes, but the bank of Boom is still looking healthy. Velocity need another one in the books here to try and rally for potential 8-4. But in this case, Berserks again. He's read the book of SK Rossi. He's put some footnotes already on these pages, and there you have it. The other Cypher's gone. Boom, still continuing that trend. NC Slasher gets the double, the trade there after the fall of White Cats. 4v2 immediately here, and we haven't even gotten through the 30-second timer.
Well, they're gonna try to open things up even more, but again, with Lightning Fast holding mid, there's a potential rotation here for Velocity, but it's just two of them remaining, and look at how far Nats has gone through enemy lines, enemy territory.
Yeah, if left unchecked, this could just hurt the chances of Velocity even more. Critical contact so far. Nats has the timing! And there's no way! Nats again scratching the backs of Velocity and taking them down one by one. 9-2 here for Boom.
I can't believe he's the one that caught the timing on that. They were looking in his direction for a solid 5-10 seconds before they even looked away. And then he just found Lightning Fast, the end of his tailcoat, and just stalked them, got the kills, denied them even any access to that A site.
Yeah. It's just tough. It's just tough at this point for Velocity. You're looking for hope. You're looking for a convincing round with the buys. It's just not happening here for VLT. When Boom just decide to be even more proactive around the map. Here we go again. Mid-held Shiro seeing Damara straight on through. While Russ tries to send it with the Rolling Thunder. The Gate Rush, of course, in position. Hunter's Fury to play. And Berserks with the spam. White Cat 2. They made the kill box into markets. And it's just free real estate here for Boom at this point. They're buying up. They're getting everything that they would like. And a flawless statement at the end of the first half to make it 10-2.
Yeah, that's hack there from Boom, or excuse me, from Velocity. Felt very countered. I mean, they started pushing in through market like you mentioned. Oh, that's how he got the kill on Lightning Fast. He saw the dredges of the Shrouded Step, and that would seal the deal, seal the life of Lightning Fast. With that, trouble continues, trouble ensues even more as the 9-3 is there. And again, we're just going to go 10-2 actually, and then we're just going to go on a halftime break. and it continues. Boom Esports with a dominant showing in that first half here on Sunset. 10-2. There is not a lot of breathing space available for Velocity.
Yeah. Same struggles for Velocity coming into the second map, and Shiro now still stoic as ever. Willing to play that first contact. We pivot straight into B, where Whitecat's the one leading the charge. Trying to make that space, but Russ finds him. Velocity, they have some good stations here at the back of the site. Shockdart comes on through it. SK Rossi taking a big chunk of damage. BLT proving themselves with some pistols. Nancy Slasher just cleaving on through, but Madeline, man! Keep an eye out. Berserks on the other side. Now Berserks versus SK Rossi. Camera scene. Berserks in position, and Berserks again! One more time, he just does not lose. The Zowie clutch here for Berserks.
How does he keep breathing that?
It's madness, man. It's madness.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, I got tagged by the camera. I'm gonna look where exactly SK Rossi was gonna pop out. Yeah, the thumbs up. Oh my goodness, this is, like you mentioned, this is absolute madness. And even deeper to it we go. We descend more and more. 2 more rounds for Boom here. And Velocity. Is that a force buy we're seeing again from them?
Yeah. The defense are gonna try to will it with the Stingers here. They've also pushed up into tiles. And that's a great kill by Velocity to overrun the Lurk. Berserks was the biggest threat. Now they take him down early. There's still more to come though. SK Rossi. Great shot with the Sheriff too. So no count out Velocity in this one. Paranoia comes on in. SK Rossi with another. Just saw the direction of the utility. NC Slasher. Wow, SK Rossi! We saw how effective the Headhunter was yesterday on Lotus. Now with the Sheriff, it's the same kind of hand cannon. And VLT, much needed, is an understatement, man. They get it done, they get the round, and at least they're gonna break the back of Boom now.
Yeah. That was a Hail Mary for Velocity here, and they for sure needed it. That kill on the Berserk was already a collateral that, you know, Boom was prepared to get, but this one from SK Rossi.
He got the kill onto Nat's fully blinded. That's insane.
Yeah, I just realized that too.
I thought it was just like, oh, Paranoia tracking. He's like, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, looks like there's still somewhat of a aggressive buy here for Boom. Velocity's got to be careful.
Yeah, double shotties. And especially one in the hands of Whitecat. Boom right now. Perhaps expecting some close holds here from VLT, and instead it's VLT looking to challenge here from backside, but this is exactly what Whitecat wants to do. Go for the overrun. Berserk's already catching out SK Rossi. And Boom, quickly get the flat.
Oh, are they going to charge out just to match where they're going? Looks like no for the meantime.
Oh, nice catch though with the stun. That's brilliant here from Russ, and with it, Velocity. C2 hand delivered in front of them. Now, with the numbers thinned out, this could be more confident from Velocity onto the site itself. Here comes NC Slasher. Can't mow down Damara at all. Shiro, that's a classic on hand. It's a free gun, but Whitecat's the one with the big one. The double dare with the Bulldog. Whitecat also trying to move, trying to groove. Just can't find the angle here. Shiro still in position, and Shiro's found the upgrade. Into the smoke. He finds Lightning Fast there! And the Zowie clutch to bring Boom the series points.
Wait. No. That was a weaker buy. A significantly weaker buy. And then they just keep pushing in. This one. All right, we saw the clutch. Perfect. What made that a more compelling positioning in that 2 versus 2 was that Whitecat synced up with Whitecat synced up with NC Slasher at the back of the B site rather than separating for a pinch. I think because of that, they were able to concentrate their firepower and just make it work even better.
Yeah, Shiro 16 and 6. Make that 17 and 6 right now. The MVP of Boom, the MVP of the group stage so far in the stats. and it has just been unrelenting from Boom from start to finish. A final countdown here for Velocity perhaps. Neural Theft into play. Huntless Fury, the response. NC Slasher looking to work off that intel. It staves off Velocity, who have to play a big game of keep away, and Shiro's not done. He's gotten one more. He wants to get another one here. 3 for Shiro, and that's all she wrote, as Boom will get the flawless, will get the sweep, and will take Sunset 13-3. They're one series away from getting back into Pacific Asarai, and man, that date with SOT, that's gonna be a treat for Boom Esports.
What a wake-up call for Boom here. Again, being dropped from stage 2 here back into Ascension. What was it, like a 3-month hiatus before we saw them again? And they are looking strong, White Cat, and that's proving they are a force to be reckoned with. On the flip side, Velocity, they take the L here for this series. A lot of things to talk about, especially now that we know once they've removed the Lotus against them, where is their biggest bite? But they're gonna have to prove that as they get dropped into the lower bracket, but they're still here, they're still fighting for their slot to Pacific.
Yeah, I mean, Morgan mentioned it. It's been an incredible run for South Asia. They're still deep in the bracket, and that books themselves into a rematch with Nong Shim Red Force. But Boom, this has been a roller coaster of a year, right? This 2025. You go back to stage 1 of Pacific, the highs. He goes to stage 2, the lows. And I can't wait to see where this wild ride goes, because it feels like we're going on to the highs yet again. It's a scream, it's a shout, and Boom, they're just letting it all out at this point. Where do we even begin? Yeah, you know, Berserk's the series, but come on. The first time we saw Boom play in Ascension Pacific, it's been the Shiro show all day, every day.
Just non-stop. Yeah. His ability to, again, keep that outlaw, like Yoru outlaw, feels like Shiro's the one naturally talented with it. Or if he was able to just, you know, get better and better, he's in peak physical condition right now to keep utilizing that. It just is insane. Every single angle, every single moment that he needs to hit a shot, get a kill, get back, not get traded, he's able to make it work. And because of that, it just felt like he's the insurmountable, unpassable wall that Velocity always keep butting their heads into.
And the wall just extends on every single part of the map, right? But Boom came into this series with immense confidence. You would feel the energy. You would see that they're having an incredible time on the stage here. And to them, this is just another step to get back to where they belong. And this is the best chance for Boom right now, man. They're going to be facing off another Korean squad for a quote-unquote finals to get to the VCD Pacific. You know, 2024 called. They want the script back. We're seeing it here. But hey, Boom Esports has been a standard from start to finish in the run here in the Ascension Pacific. And this was just another example here.
And again, there is that chance. Who is the potential team that could maybe head against Boom? It's going to be SLT. And I'm curious, wanting to see how that transpires. At least for now, Boom's not gonna, you know, have a reunion with Nongshim. Velocity's gonna have a taste again of a Pacific caliber team for the second time here in Ascension.
Third time, excuse me, sorry.
Yeah, it's definitely be prepared for this gauntlet.
Yeah, some frustrations there for Velocity, but Boom Esports, they're the ones who take that next step. Thank you for having us on the casting side with me and Asarai signing on out. Let's toss it over to the panel to break down one last time what just happened in the series.
Yeah, thanks so much to Dax and to Asarai for that. An incredibly speedy series here with Boom Esports, really showcasing why they were that Pacific team. It's almost like shades of stage 1 here, Morgan. Boom Esports really showing just how quickly they can take a series and how dominantly they can too.
I mean, this this map 2 was murderous. There's no two ways about
Yeah.
it. Boom, showing utter domination, especially shutting down Velocity's attacker side, a side where they have been very strong. Boom clearly had a counter ready. They understood how to handle the aggression from Damara, how to play around and bait out that utility while also holding on to the space. And then just look at those first bloods. Boom, 13 first bloods of VLT only with the 3. So it's so hard when you're consistently down, not finding those entries. I mean, I just look at Damara. I mean, we've seen him have huge pop-off games. I don't think he played particularly bad. It's more I want to highlight it to point out how well Boom did at stopping this guy, Shiro, right at the top there, and he's a big reason for it. With those scoped weapons, he's always able to find that pick and then stay alive. I mean, this Boom roster stacked full of experience. The younger rookie players are excelling now, and now they're so close, Mika, to going back to Pacific. Only one more team stands in their way.
Yep, and it's gonna be Boom Esports up against another Korean team. So it's not exactly the same script from 2024 just yet. Just yet. It's gonna be an exciting one for sure. But it seems as though for Boom, the meta here is Shiro on the Yoru, on the Outlaw, or any kind of sniper rifle, because he has been incredible at just really dealing out those first kills, which really just makes the game plan of the other team just like in shambles, right? It's been working so well from them. And for Shiro also, it's amazing how consistently he's able to do this. It's not just a one-off in one round. It's not just, oh, in these certain cases, he's doing it every single time, which is what makes it so amazing too. And of course, we're looking at our updated brackets right now. We see that we have that Boom and SL team match. Regardless of the outcome, that's right, Boom, you are sandwiched by Korean teams, but it's gonna be an exciting one for sure. And take a look at that lower bracket there, Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, the lower bracket is a dangerous place to be. Nous versus Motive. We spoke about how Nous, you know, they want to bounce back after their troublesome time in Vietnam. Nous themselves said if there's one team they want to play, it's Motive to get that revenge. So that's a big match. And then, of course, Velocity versus Nongshim. We saw this at the end of the group stage. Nongshim getting the win there, finding their form. There's a real world here where Velocity could be eliminated from Ascension, having only lost to Nongshim Red Force and Boom, of course, 2 former Pacific teams. That would be a horrible way for it to go. But they're looking to run it back in a different way, get that upset, get the win, and the revenge against Nongshim Red Force.
Yeah, 2 different kinds of revenge matches that are in store for our journey here throughout Pacific in the playoffs. You have Southeast Asia Derby coming up, and then you have the first series up in Nongshim's potential lower bracket journey. So that's going to be very exciting to watch. I am just so stoked for what's to come here, Morgan, because it's looking like all of these teams do have something in store for us in the playoffs, and I'm eager to see so much more from them.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, this playoffs is insane. It's so stacked. Only 2 teams out of the 6 can get those spots. I mean, that's a 1 in 3 chance. I mean, I think you'll take that. And it's all about who can play the best on that big stage now in front of the crowd, because that's where we're moving to, and that's something you don't want to miss.
That is absolutely right. It's gonna ramp up within the next few matches, so I hope you guys are ready for it. Thank you, of course, to our sponsors, to Acer Predator, to Intel, to Zowie, Imperial World, TT Racing, and to Syndom for making this all possible. Now, of course, we will see you in the big stage, because that is it from us from the virtual desk. Morgan has to get some rest because he has a long journey ahead. He's going to be running all the way from the UK. You better believe it. Kapungka, everybody. We will see you guys in Bangkok for the rest of VCT Ascension Pacific. Bye.
นี่ไม่ใช่เรื่องของเกียรติยศแต่มันคือการก้าวต่อไปแม้ทุกสิ่งรอบตัวบอกว่าเป็นไปไม่ได้ไม่มีเสียงปรบมือไม่มีการเฉลิมฉลองมีเพียงหัวใจที่ยังเชื่อมั่นความแข็งแกร่งไม่ได้มาจากชัยชนะแต่มันมาจากการไม่ยอมแพ้แม้เส้นทางจะเต็มไปด้วยอุปสรรคบาดแผลไม่ใช่ร่องรอยของความพ่ายแพ้แต่เป็นเครื่องยืนยันว่าเราก้าวข้ามมันมาได้เราไม่ได้แค่ยืนยันแต่เราจะประกาศให้โลกเห็นว่าที่นี่คือที่ของเรา